Welcome to Hotline TV. I'm Josh Kraushar.
And I'm Reed Wilson. President Obama was in Cleveland on Wednesday laying out the second half of his economic agenda. He started on Labor Day talking about $50 billion for infrastructure funding. Now he's talking about $100 billion in research and development tax credits. Josh, is this new version of the economic package, the economic platform, going to help Democrats in November?
Look, it's a tough sell, both for the White House and for Democratic leaders in Congress. There's not an appetite, if you look at the public polling, there's not much of an appetite for increased spending. And while the administration has incentivized the legislation with tax cuts, proposals that the small businesses may be able to get behind, it's the spending that's getting all the headlines. The $50 billion in transportation spending, that was the first thing that the White House leaked, and that's the measure that's gotten all the press. And you've already heard swing district Democrats, Harry Mitchell, coming out and being very skeptical of the bill. Even Julie Lassa was a key district that Democrats need to hold in the House, already has come out criticizing the legislation. So there's not a whole lot of Democrats supporting it, and I just see it's going to be awfully tough to get through Congress before the election.
Well, hang on. It wasn't just the swing district Democrats. It was Senator Russ Feingold, who, by the way, didn't bother to show up with President Obama on Monday in Milwaukee. He also said that he wasn't terribly hot about this $50 billion spending. Patty Murray, the same way. Good clip in the Seattle Times on Wednesday about Patty Murray not being so hot on the idea either. The problem is the White House rolled out the spending side first as opposed to the tax cut side. Republicans are saying that they might be able to get behind this so long as there aren't any drawbacks, as long as the funding isn't tied to anything else. But at the end of the day, it's going to be more spending, more problems for the White House, especially at a time when Americans are more concerned about deficit spending than they ever have been. So at the end of the day, this is going to be, it's not going to be an easy road through Congress. What the American public is going to hear is that Congress is spending more, and by the way, the $50 billion isn't really going to stimulate anything or create any jobs until well into 2011. So this economic turnaround, this economic package, more about President Obama's 2012 re-election than it is about the 2010 midterms.
And Reed, James Carville coined the phrase, "It's the economy stupid," back in the early 90s. Well, Republicans are going to soon be coining the phrase, "It's the deficit stupid," because I think we saw a poll, CNN poll yesterday, 77% of Americans said that they were very concerned or somewhat concerned about the state of spending, the state of the deficit. That is a striking number. It's a number higher than we've seen in recent memory. And if that's the case, and that continues to be the case, any amount of spending, no matter how significant it's going to boost the economy, that's going to be resisted by a large swath of the electorate. I think that Obama is going to have a very tough time, and this could backfire. There's a risk of this backfiring.
Well, I'm not sure it's going to backfire. I'm not sure it's going to hurt anybody else. And look, I don't think that it is the spending stupid. You can call me the stupid one. That's fine. Instead, I'm taking a look. I've always said I think this entire election will be determined on voters' opinions of the stimulus bill, whether or not they think the stimulus actually worked, whether it created jobs, and the vast majority of Americans still do not think it's done anything to make the economy better. The number of Americans who actually think the stimulus did something positive is like 30% or fewer, so not a huge amount. That's all the time we have for Hotline TV. I'm Reed Wilson.
And I'm Josh Kraushar. See you next week, same place, same time on Hotline TV.